This time we are in San Carlos at NatureBox. Hi Gautam, how are you and what do you do?
Great. Well, I'm doing great. Thanks so much for paying us a
Awesome.
visit. So I'm the co-founder and CEO of NatureBox, and NatureBox is a company that aims to make snacking smarter, more delicious, and easy.
Why did you start this company?
Well, I started the company for a couple different reasons. First and foremost, it speaks to a personal mission of mine, and something that I've been interested in for over a decade now. Unfortunately, growing up until the age of 18, I really struggled with obesity. And had really bad eating habits. But luckily, I started learning about nutrition. And in the 6 months before going off to college, I was able to lose 70 pounds.
Wow.
And really radically changed the way I was eating, learned a lot about why people eat the way that they do. And that was always a personal interest for me. So starting NatureBox was a chance to really sort of give back and do something that I thought could create change and impact in the rest of the world. And then also because I had a friend of mine from college who wanted to start the company together. We were both very passionate about food and nutrition. So it was a great opportunity to work with people that you like working with and do something that you're passionate about.
Cool. What did you change in your diet?
Well, I went from one end of the spectrum where I was eating very unhealthy foods. I was eating a lot of candy, drinking soda, ice cream, and I really went to the middle of the spectrum. I don't think I went to, sort of like everything organic type of diet, but I just was more careful about what I was eating. And I noticed that through that and through exercise, I was able to lose the weight very, very quickly. And I think the importance of that to me was that small changes actually can make an impact. And the importance of diet. We talk a lot about sort of diet versus exercise in this country, but diet is incredibly important. And so for me, it was a learning experience of truly how important these things can be.
Cool. Let's talk about the business model of NatureBox. Actually, what are the customers or the target segment that you are targeting?
Yeah, so really anyone who likes to snack, right? So we have customers from all walks of life, all across the United States. We have customers in all 50 states. They range from a young millennial who might be buying these snacks so that they can have something to eat at work, all the way to a mom with school-aged kids who's looking for ways to get rid of junk food at home, and certainly everything between. So the target customer is really someone who has an interest, a passion around snacking, but trying to find a way to snack a bit healthier, trying to find a way to have healthier snacks delivered to them in a more convenient way.
And are you only selling to individuals or also to corporates?
We do sell to corporate customers as well, but the bulk of our business is really selling to individuals. Now, those individuals are eating our snacks in both the home and the office, but it's really focused around the individual consumer.
Cool, great. Can you please walk me through the value chain and what are the major issues that we're currently seeing over there?
For sure. So one of the important decisions that we made very early into starting NatureBox was that we wanted to build a brand, which means that all of the products that you buy from NatureBox come under our brand and that they're developed in-house. And they're unique to what you would find in your neighborhood grocery store. And so really the value chain is about how do we bring those unique and proprietary products to the consumer in a much faster and much more efficient way. And so we've built a lot of technology in the front end of that process, which is around data and how we can better understand you as a consumer, what foods you like, what foods you don't like, and bring that data to the product development process. And then really going further down the value chain, we've built supply chain infrastructure and software that allows us to get these natural products to you such that they're fresh and that every month you can, if you choose, you can have something new. And you can kind of always be discovering new snacks from NatureBox. So we've built a lot of technology in the back end of the business that really allows us to serve customers all across the country, create products in 12 to 14 weeks from idea to the product in the hands of the customer, and then constantly use that real-time feedback from the customer to get better at what we do.
And when I'm looking at the total value chain, is it true to say that you are owning or working on the first parts, which is basically the customer interaction, the branding, the marketing, and the logistics part of, and the rest you are just buying from the suppliers in the US or somewhere else?
Well, we scour the world to find producers that are really great at what they do, right? So for example, the dried pineapple product that we have comes from a producer that has been growing pineapple for decades, and they're really exceptional at what they do. So we work with producers all across the country to source the ingredients and to produce products for our end customer. But every step in that process is being owned and developed and controlled by NatureBox. And because we're direct to consumer, it's not just sort of the branding and the marketing, but it's also the physical distribution and getting those boxes in the hands of the customer.
I mean, you are something like a subscription model. Yeah? I can order a box, get it every month, every week, whatever I like. Mm-hmm. And you have like hundreds of different ingredients. Are you sending me the same stuff every month, or is there some kind of variety in there?
Yeah, so the way it works for the customer is the customer signs up for a membership, and that membership is incredibly flexible. So you can choose to have any number of snacks sent to you on any frequency. So if you want monthly or every week shipments, we make that possible for you. And then you actually look at our catalog of over 120 different products, and you choose exactly the products that you want. Now you can change those products at any time. So let's say you're on a monthly shipment frequency. If you choose 5 products today that you want this month, you can come back and change those products next month. And there's no limit to sort of how often you can change that selection. So what I think we've really done, and we've been a leader in this space, of becoming more than a subscription box, right? We are really a membership model that allows you as a consumer to have a great amount of flexibility, and you choose every aspect of the NatureBox experience.
Cool. And how did you find those suppliers? I mean, basically the question is, how's the sourcing model?
Yeah, well, we have a really talented team of product developers whom we've hired from great brands like Trader Joe's, Dean & DeLuca, Williams-Sonoma, great food brands and retail brands. And they're really tasked with being out there in the marketplace, obviously leveraging the decades of experience that they have, but also really scouring the world and talking to suppliers. And it's a really fun job, right? Because they get to try snacks all day, and luckily I sit right next to them, so I get to I get to spy on some of the selections that they have. But it's a really fun job, and I think the simple answer is we've hired people that are incredibly good at what they do, and we've basically said, hey, we've empowered them with all of the data that we have on the customer, right? And we have loads of it, right? Millions and millions of data points on our customers, given our direct-to-customer relationship. And we've gone out and said, here's the data, here's what they like, here's what they don't like. Find products that are that meet their needs. And as soon as we launch those products, we're able to funnel the feedback to them so that they know, how those products are performing. So.
But currently you are only selling like 120 snack products. Is there any other way of natural, organic products you would like to sell? Because I assume this is more of an organic, biased customer segment.
Well, I think it's a customer segment that's looking for better options, whether that's organic, natural, whatever it might be. I mean, obviously the food landscape is moving so quickly in this country, and the way our approach to product is we want to empower the consumer with choice and transparency. So we make it very easy to find the products that are right for you, whatever that may be, right? And I think that landscape is changing so quickly. And one of the advantages of our model is that we can stay on top of that rapid pace of change. But we launch 5 new products each month. Okay. So we have 120 active products today, but we've actually launched well over 200 over the last couple years. And we continue to launch 4 to 5 new products every single month.
Mm.
So.
And how are you balancing adding new products and
Mm-hmm.
on the other hand still having enough volume per product so you have good purchase prices?
Well, I think because we have 120 products and because we're dedicated to snacks, we're able to leverage that scale. But at the end of the day, it's really what the consumer wants. And I think that's the disruption in the NatureBox business model, is that we're focused on selling products that you want to buy. And you know, whether that means that we need 120 of them or 150 of them or whatever that number may end up being in the future, our mission is to make sure that you're seeing products that you'll enjoy, and that we're developing products based on your needs. And so, you know, while I think scale is important and you know, certainly as we grow, we hope to take advantage of economies of scale, really what we wake up in the morning focused on is how do we find products that our customers will really love and enjoy, and that'll keep them coming back.
Lots of people know about the advantages of a subscription model, like steady revenue and so on. What are the disadvantages of having something like this, and how do you manage that?
I think there are many advantages of the subscription model, but obviously one of the things that we have to do as a subscription business is continue to earn our customers' trust every single month, every single week. And you know, I think that places a great amount of importance on customer experience. And so we are not a business where, you know, if we sell you a NatureBox, that's success, right? You know, for us, it's really about retaining that long-term relationship with the customer and creating value in the NatureBox membership. And for us, that comes down to, can we understand your needs better than anyone else? And so I think the value of that is that, you know, we can build a business that hopefully continues to get better and better over time because we continue to aggregate that data and get better at understanding your needs every single time you order from us. But you know, it's a complicated business, and so every month we've got to earn your trust and we've got to give you a reason to keep coming back. We have to build a supply chain that enables consistency and being able to get these large number of orders and these very personalized orders to your door every single month, you know, with a great level of sort of predictability and consistency. So I think those are some of the challenges, but you know, for us, we see so much value in being able to have that relationship with the customer, and we feel like we're really scratching the surface of what that could be.
Is there anything besides the purchase history and maybe some customer service interaction where you can learn from your customers and improve your product offering?
Well, actually, all of our customers have the ability to rate and review products that they try, and that's really important to our business model. We have millions of snack ratings, which is a customer coming in and saying, you know, I tried this product and here's how I liked it, or maybe I didn't like it. And because that data is being funneled in real time, you know, I think that's incredibly important, and that's a huge driver of how we think about the business. Of course, in addition to that data, we survey our customer base on a very active basis. You know, we have a customer service team that's talking to our customer every single day. So we're obviously getting data in a variety of different ways, but I think the ability for a customer to rate and review is incredibly important.
Yeah. Let's look at the customer acquisition part. What channels are you using for acquiring customers, and which one are performing better, which one are worse, and why?
Customer acquisition at NatureBox has definitely developed over the years, and I'd say that as the brand gets more known and gets sort of out there, what we're seeing is that word of mouth and our current members referring their friends continues to be a huge driver of the business. But in addition to that, we've started to experiment in offline marketing channels, TV, radio, things like this. And I think that we'll continue to evolve customer acquisition based on who our target customer is and what media they're consuming. You know, I think online social media is a great channel in general, and you know, part of what our focus is how do we continue to evolve that customer experience so that we can continue to get more and more word of mouth.
Cool. When you started, was there some way how you validated your product idea? You said that okay, I would be the first customer and my co-founder as well. But did you somehow validate it before you started building the box and finding a supplier and so on?
Yeah, actually, my co-founder Ken and I thought that this was really important because we thought we would be customers, but we didn't know if anyone else would be a customer. So we spent a weekend sort of putting a concept together, and this was very early into our brainstorming of what NatureBox could be. So we put a box together, we shot a photo of it, and then we put that photo on a website. And we drove some traffic through Facebook to that website, and we just wanted to see, would anyone buy this, right? It's a snack, sort of a snack membership. Would anyone find that concept interesting? And it turned out that by the end of that weekend, we had over 100 people sign up for the NatureBox subscription. And these were people that we didn't know. These weren't our family or friends. They were just people that saw our ad on Facebook. And at the end of the weekend, we said, okay, well, that's a pretty good sign. It's not just the two of us. It's, at least there's 100 people. Maybe there might be 1,000. Maybe there might be, tens of thousands eventually. And so that's what compelled us to start the business. And we did it before we had anything. We didn't have a product. Worse than that, we didn't even know how to build a product. So, when we had those 100 people sign up, we said, okay, there might be an idea here.
How much did this test cost approximately?
It cost less than $10,000. It was very inexpensive, including the cost of the advertising and the traffic. So it was a pretty fast way to get to an answer, considering that we kind of put all this together over the course of a weekend, and luckily there were more than 100 people. Eventually it was more than 100 people that signed up. So.
And after this, how did it went further? So what was the next step?
Well, the immediate next step was, we had taken money from these 100 people, right? So we had to make a decision. Were we going to send them something, or were we going to refund their money, right? So the immediate next step was, well, we should send them something, right? So we had to go and figure out, how do we put this box together? And neither of us had come from the food world, right? So that was, it sounds like a simple challenge, right? But it was a pretty daunting challenge at the time, because we didn't know anything about food. We didn't know where to buy food. And so we cobbled together these 100 boxes, and, we found that actually people were giving us feedback. And, the next month we had, they stayed on, right? They wanted to get the next month's box. And we said, okay, well, that's kind of interesting. So I guess we have to go and put another box together. And we did that for a couple months. And we started trying to figure out, well, how could we scale this business? What if 1,000 people wanted to buy a NatureBox? How would we do that, right? Because keep in mind, we were doing this out of our apartment. So, it took us the entire weekend to pack 100 boxes. So we thought, okay, well, if 1,000 people want to do this, there's no way we can do it out of our apartment. We better figure out ways to solve the problem. So we just started talking to people, and I think we've been so lucky. In the course of running this business, whenever we've had challenges and problems, we've looked to people, advisors, friends that may have solved that problem in their own businesses, and we've been incredibly lucky. We've had so much great advice from people. In those early days, we talked to anyone that would pick up the phone, and we got some great advice, and we started finding vendors that would work with us. We found a facility that would work with us so that we didn't have to pack these things in our apartment, and it kind of went from there.
So your mom was happy that you were not packing 1,000 packages a weekend, right?
Yeah, exactly. It literally, the first weekend, we were so tired from packing these boxes. It took the entire weekend. And, we looked at it and we said, if we needed to pack 1,000, we would need like 100 people and a warehouse the size of a football field, right? given how little we knew about how to make this process more efficient. So we were very happy when we found partners that could help us scale the business.
Cool. Great, Gautam. You said you got lots of advice from other people helping you. What would you tell somebody who just wants to start a company and says, hey, what is your advice, or what advice can you share with me?
Yeah, I think starting a business is obviously difficult, and I think for anyone that's asking for advice, they're doing the first step has been accomplished, right? Which is don't be afraid to ask for help. Don't be afraid to ask for opinions, thoughts, and I think what you'll learn as you start a business is you're going to get 1,000 opinions and 1,000 different pieces of advice, and your job is to figure out what to do, right? And so people are very willing to tell you what they think, and so don't be afraid to ask, right? I think as you build the company, it's really important to be self-aware in terms of what skills you have and what you don't have, what things you know and what things you don't know. And I think the reason for that is that helps you think about what pieces of the team you need to bring on and really who you need to hire. Mm-hmm. At the end of the day, these businesses are so much about team and people. And so it's really critical to surround yourself with people that both complement your skill set, but also enjoy working together and people that you want to be in the trenches with, right? Because it's going to be hard, and there are going to be many, many bad days. And then I think, beyond that, at every stage of the business, you're going to have different challenges, and you're going to be focused on different things. In the beginning, you're going to be really focused on the customer and on the product, and trying to figure out how do you get to that product market fit. But as you scale the business, that's going to change, right? And you might be focused on recruiting, you might be focused on building culture. And so, I think one piece of advice is think about what the biggest challenges you have are that you have today, and focus on those, and be mindful that those are going to change. Every 3 to 6 months, those challenges are probably going to change, and that's a good thing. That means that you're solving those problems. But I think that's really important as you start putting the business plan together.
Here in the Valley and also in Germany and UK, it's quite hard to hire really good people. How do you recruit and find those people?
Well, I think recruiting is a full-time job, and you have to treat it like a full-time job. And I think that even when you're starting out to the size of our business today, I still spend a lot of my time on recruiting. It's just an essential part of being a founder. You have to always be thinking about the team and how you can add capabilities to that team. But I think what you have to sort of understand is, what are you looking for? So it goes back to mapping out the skill sets that you need and the experiences that you need. What your values are, so that you find people that complement those values and people that you can work well with. Mm-hmm. And then I think it's about figuring out, how you create a compelling story. And what you may find is that, there's so many people, right, in Silicon Valley or Germany, wherever it might be, right, that it's really about finding the right person and creating a story that speaks to them. And I think part of that story is what you want to achieve as a business, but part of that story is how they can create impact. Mm. I think, most people want to work in places where they can be successful, and they can create impact. They know they're creating a difference. They don't want to just be a cog in the wheel. And I think that it's really important to create a story that shows them where they create impact. And that means that, the picture is not always perfect, right? And I would be very afraid of hiring someone that expects to come into a workplace where there's absolutely no problems, there's no issues, because that's just impossible, right? You want to hire the person that's excited by those problems, because in those problems, they see the opportunity to grow and to be successful.
Great. Gautam, thank you so much for your time. And next time, when you are thinking about losing some weight or staying healthy, maybe NatureBox is the option of choice. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Great.
Awesome.
Thanks.
Thanks.